Hey guys, so in Lost Ark, there are definitely some classes that have it all. They have the damage, they have utility, they have speed, mobility, agility, every single thing you would want from a good class in a game. And on the flip side, there are some classes that are really lacking in many areas. So today, I really wanted to highlight some of those classes that are a little bit lacking, and hopefully this will help get Smilegate to understand that these classes need a little bit of fixing. Now, this does not include every single class that needs help, of course. I'm just including the class that, in my opinion, from what I've heard from other people, need the most help compared to others. And again, it's not to say that your class doesn't need help, but it is just the classes that, in my opinion, need a little bit more help than others. These classes aren't really listed in any particular order, just an order that came up to my mind first. So let's dive right into it. The first class on this list has to be Destroyer. Both Rage Hammer and Gravity Training are not in a great place at the moment, with Gravity Training probably taking the crown for this category. Lost Ark is an extremely fast-paced game where split seconds could make or break a run, and Destroyer, is being one of the slowest classes in the game, struggles a lot because of their lack of speed and mobility. How many times have you seen, or even experienced yourself, a perfect swing that is charged up at what seemed to be the perfect timing, only to have it whiff because the boss decided it would move half an inch away, or turn its body slightly, making you miss the front attack? I feel like this is every Rage Hammer Destroyer in a nutshell. All of their powerful hitting moves, from Earth Eater to Perfect Swing, are just way too damn slow for this game. And who can forget about their identity for Gravity Training Destroyer? Hey, let's make an attack that requires a boss to stand completely still for 10 seconds for you to actually do any sort of real damage to it. Yep, that's Gravity Training. And oh yeah, when the boss moves and you move along with it, well, you just lost all that attack speed that you built up. It's really a bit puzzling because Smilegate definitely knows what the troubles of Gravity Training are, given that they just made Sewer Breaker's identity. Basically just better Gravity Training, but yet they don't show any signs of making this class engraving any better, and in fact, they actually just nerfed it as well. So that's the Destroyer. Now let's talk about the Summoner. This class was at one point in time after its rework at the tippy top of the DPS charts, but boy did that not last very long. Much like Destroyer, Summoner struggles a ton because it is also quite a slow class. While I would say that it's still in a better place than Gravity Training, I'm so sorry Gravity Training, Summoner still feels like a very clunky class to play. Having zero mobility skills to get itself out of dangerous positions, and a cure taking 10 years to wind up to do its damage, Summoner is definitely another class that deserves a change. The problems don't end there though. Taking a look at the communication overflow engraving, one of my biggest issues with this build is that on top of doing Z DPS if you don't have the hands of a god, it feels like absolute trash to play, especially when it comes to the pet department. Summoner is supposed to have mastery over some extremely powerful summons, from being able to bring out the powers of the lightning god Akir, to controlling the ancient elemental phoenix to raise a horde of enemies. CO Summoner can bring out those summons, but that's hardly the bread and butter of the class. The bread and butter of this class revolves around your other summons, Marian and Poweru, which are basically like a little teddy bear and your favorite dog Flanders. The issue with these summons, and my problem with the class, is that they come with their own skills that you need to consistently spam. But when you press these skills, the animations are so tiny that you need a microscope to be able to see anything that's happening, making this feel like a complete garbage class to play. Next up is Firepower Artillerist. You may ask, what does this class even do? Well, to be honest, I didn't even know this before making this video. I had to look it up exactly what this engraving did because pretty much nobody plays this engraving, and it's for a good reason. I was watching Ruel's YouTube video, which I'll link in the description below, talk about the struggles of Firepower Artillerist, and this class just doesn't make sense at all. Okay, so in order for them to deal full damage, they need to fill up their firepower meter, which takes literally all of their attacks to do. So by the time that you fill up that meter and are able to deal some actual damage, you have to wait for your skill cooldowns to come back up before you can do any further damage. This is all fine and dandy, but unfortunately, in addition to that, this meter works a bit like Chaos Meter for Reaper. When you aren't attacking the boss, the meter just eventually starts going down. So let's say you're doing a con. you use all your skills to finally get your firepower meter up to max. Well, the boss just phased, and now you have to build that meter up again all over, while the other classes are enjoying a nice 3-bar attack buff from the Bard and are bursting the class. This concept is extremely backwards and definitely deserves a change for the better. Last but not least, we have the Sorceress, and in this video I'm going to specifically talk about the Igniter Sorceress because this is what most people play. Igniter Sorc has had a bit of a rocky past. Much like Summoner, the Igniter Sorc was once at the top of the DPS chart, but unlike the Summoner, they were there for quite a bit of time. This was a bit of the Sorc's MO. Hey, they bring 0 utility to the party, but at least they deal a ton of damage, right? Well, that isn't quite the case anymore. In many ways, you can say that Igniter Sorc is basically like worse Full Moon Harvester Soul Eater. And that's the crux of the problem. They got power crept. While they're still able to output some of the game's largest numbers during burst windows, they aren't the only class that is able to do that anymore. And some of these other classes, like Full Moon Harvester Soul Eater, are able to do it faster and better on top of bringing other utility to the party as well. So it's no surprise that the Sorc community has been up in arms about changing this class. While Saint Tone, one of the most influential Sorc players in the community, has shown us a new build for this class that adds more utility to its kit without sacrificing damage, this class can still use a bit of love from Smilegate. Well, that's about it. Those are the classes that I think really deserve a rework or at least another look at from Smilegate. Now, as I mentioned at the top of this video, those are not the only classes that I think need a rework, but those are probably the few that come to the top of mind the quickest when I'm thinking about classes that need a little bit more of love. So let me know down in the comments section what class you play, and do you think your class needs a rework as well? And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button, hit the sub button, ring the bell for notifications, and also I stream every single night on twitch.tv/MesoXShiru, so come join me there for some fun times, and hopefully I'll see y'all on my stream. But if I don't, hopefully I'll see y'all on the next video. Alright guys, peace out.